Well, hello everyone. This is Lady Phoenix, and we're back into Strange Antiquities. I'm hoping to finish it off today. Save file. Doink. So we've got day 15, 16, and 17. So we should be able to. Let's just hope I don't go crazy in the meantime. Alright. Our card for the day. I am under the barn where the axe meets the tree. Not the castle, the city. Alright, do we have a barn? We have a farm. Okay, we have two farms. Farm 1 is 1. I am under the barn where the axe meets the tree. It's not very descriptive. We have a pine road. Holloway Lane. Oak Street. Market, King, Woodcroft, Mill, Ferryman, Prince, Ransom, Healy, Church. Huh. Where the axe meets the tree. Oh. Woodcutter's Lane and Pine Road, where the axe meets the tree. So here. Nope. Woodcutter's Lane, Pine Road. Woodcroft. Would it be there? I am under the barn where the axe meets the tree. Nope. Maybe I'm going about this the wrong way. I'm under the barn where the axe meets the tree. Maybe here? That one didn't work. That one? Okay. I was on the wrong side of the road. To the side of the house sits a dilapidated barn. The stench of manure is overpowering. There's no sign of an owner, so I search carefully, not sure exactly what I'm looking for. Suddenly, I spy a flash of blue. A bottle. This is it. Ooh, pretty. Oh, it's got an eye in it. Blue painted porcelain. Okay. Cool and smooth. It gives off a scent like that of a brewing storm. Alright. Oh, I'm so gonna spell porcelain wrong. Blue pork. Scent of storm. Yeah, Porcy Lane. Porcy Lane. Okay. Blue porcelain. All right. Oh. Oh. Well, then you get to sit here with the others. The compass likes you. Alright, someone in the comments said, oh, You're eyeing it, are you? If you stick something in front of Jupiter and then pet him, he might play with the toy or the item that you stick in front of him. Do you not want that? You don't like this one? Okay. What about that one? Do you like that cat? Oh! You do! Are you supposed to be the only kitty around? Is that what it is? This one says it rolls. Ah! Okay, so you just knock anything down. That's adorable. Alright, you hang. So I'll stick you over here. But I have nothing written about you. Bronze and oak wood. Okay, let's start our day. Let's start our day.
Oh, sorry, Jupiter.
Simon! Good morning. Yes, and to you too, Jupiter. I'm more concerned about my mother. Hearing about that poor lady who drowned frightened me. But she'll turn up. She always does. I've had another breakthrough. This time I'm certain it's a clue that leads to another hidden part of strange antiquities. Tell me more. All right. From the individual, a stone for dark purposes. From the celestial, a stone of the earth. From the diurnal, a stone of death. Okay. Stone of earth is jade. So dark purposes, death. Dark purposes is the bloodstone. And I'm pretty sure death is the last one. Yeah, the Noctic. That's the only Noctic I have. So I need a celestial of earth and an individual of jade. So a Selenic or a Dradic. Okay, so then right now you're in Selenic. Aren't you? No, you're not. Now you're in Selenic. Okay, so that's the wave for Selenic. And that's not Selenic. What about Dradic? Ooh, okay, the three. Okay, so you fit the celestial, a stone of earth. So I need an individual stone for dark purposes. Individual, so a Mentic or a Wyxic. I have a bloodstone. That's it. Oh, another time mission. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Ooh, we have a new pendant. What are you? Bronze and dark green gemstone? It vibrates with energy. Yoink. Is there another gemstone besides jade that's dark green? I don't think so. Oh. Malachite. Yeah, it's a malachite. So, no X. So, bronze, malachite, and then vibrates with energy. Vibrates with energy. Right. Let's move you over there. Make some space. I doubt I'm gonna need a shimmer again. Argonian Siren. Okay, there we go. Oh, dunk. Hello, Jacob. Thank you for the mether. I have seen into the yawning deep. I have seen beauty beyond the comprehending mind. The price is steep, but I pay it gladly. My shadow anchor, broken, must replace. Shadow anchor, alright. Shadow anchor, shadow anchor. Shadow anchor. A shadow anchor is sometimes used in the practice of shadow casting, the art of projecting one's presence outside of the body. Without an anchor, minds have been known to become lost. Shadow anchor designs can vary greatly. Some prefer pendants, whereas others prefer to clutch a totem in their hand. Some make use of symbology, where others use gemstones. They will always produce a field from the individual branch, however. Alright, so it can look like anything, but it's going to be from the individual branch. Gotcha, gotcha. So, the Mentic or the Wyxic? So, we need the diamond. Let's check out the Mentic first. Scoot a little. Okay, so that's our Mentic. That one's easy to remember. And then the Mexic, or Wyxic, is the wavy. Okay. Swoop and wave. Swoop and wave. Swoop and wave, boys. Swoop and wave. Alright. You don't produce one at all, do you? It's definitely not you. Nope. Possibly. Possibly. Alright, you're a Mentic. I don't think it's you. Yeah, not that swoop. Oh. That swoop. Not that swoop. Not that swoop. Maybe. Okay, so we got these three. Yoink. Use the shadow casting, the anchor minds become lost. Fire, ice, and para, I don't think. Chills the blood, I doubt. We're gonna try you. Everything else kind of has symbolism. Sweet. Kyanite identifies the fact that this item anchors the mind, produces a mentic field. Awesome. Alright, Mr. Hand, you'll get your turn to shine soon.
Sorry.
David! I'm afraid this letter was sorted incorrectly and ended up doing a round trip to Kendall and back. Better late than never. Oh. Uh-oh. Please don't be important. I've spent a long time looking for an object that is believed to have been lost somewhere in the catacombs. The adventurer and thaumaturge Marwyn left a trail to her hidden stash, or so the story goes. I followed it as far as the ossuary of the damned, a chilling bone-filled alcove carved into a natural chamber in the upper levels. But it seems her markings have been worn away by time after that. I pass on the story to you in the hope that you can succeed where I have failed. Your friend, Barton. Okay. Catacombs, you say? Spent a lot the adventure left her trail, followed as far as the ossuary of the damned, a chilling bone-filled alcove. Do we have a bone-filled alcove? We have a couple of them. That one, that one, that one, that one. Carved into the natural chamber of the upper levels. But it seems her markings have been worn away by time after that. Oh, I can check the actual bones. Well, let's do that first. I'm able to follow Marwyn's trail for a while, but the carved markings are faded and worn by centuries of weathering. By the time I reach the ossuary, I can no longer make them out at all. Fortunately, I always wanted an excuse to use a Carrick's candle. Hey! Yoink! Yeah. That one was easy to figure out. Stalagmites retreat under the light of the candle as I hold it aloft and search the shifting rock walls for any signs of Marwyn's trail. Suddenly, I see it, an M etched into the rock, as clear as if it had been carved yesterday. I follow the trail in an excited hurry, tripping and stumbling as the candle distorts the height of the floor, till I come to its end at a small boulder. Rolling the rock to one side, I reach behind it and reclaim Marwyn's lost treasure. All right, if you call that a treasure. The candle has been officially identified. You may change colors. And you. Tin. Okay. Gives me goosebumps. Do those 3 lines mean anything? 3 lines, 3 lines, 3 lines. No. Okay. Tin gives goosebumps. Barton! Hey, Potter. Oomph. Oh. You're cursed not to be able to talk. I saw that in here somewhere. Sensation of burning from the inside. Affects the mouth and tongue so that speech becomes impossible. Tormund's paralysis. Tormund's paralysis. Protection. Tormund's paralysis leads to Tormund's Bane. These can be rolled along the tongue to cure Tormund's paralysis or worn about the neck to protect against the curse. Like most items that ward against curses, they emit a diurnic field pattern. Alright, so it's going to be a pendant. field pattern. So we're gonna have a triangle. Top of the triangle, and then at the bottom. Nope, that's Dradic. I love that I can read so well. Dianeric. Okay. Sideways swooshies. Sideways swooshies. Alright. Pendant. Pendants. Okay. Nope. Nope. Oh, that's really faint. Why are you so faint? Alright. Said rolled along the tongue. Like that. It's got a roller. It's got a roller. What about the neck? Yeah, it produces a field. Fabulous. Thank you. I don't even know how I managed to get down from Weatherlim. Everything went dark after reading the inscription on the tall stone, but somehow I knew if I made it to Strange Antiquities, I would be okay. I gotcha. Don't worry, Potter. I've got you. Through the darkness, I received a message from the Nameless Ones. They seek an item called the Nalian Casket. If we give it to them, they promise to free those it has affected. Really? I don't think we have a choice. At least we can be certain of one thing. If they have the casket, they will not allow it to be opened. Okay. All they desire, all they value, is power, and opening the casket will release all of its contained power. Alright, makes sense. So you want a casket, huh? Verona! The time has come to decide, Thaumaturge. This casket wants to be opened. The casket will be opened. Nothing can stop it now, and yet there is still a part of this mind that will not be quieted. Help me to calm this clamoring rage inside my head. This is your chance to elevate yourself above the scurrying ants that absently crawl through their meaningless lives. Either a Zephyrim or an abrasive mother. What does the abrasive mother do? This type of mother is used to purge unwanted memories. As with any procedure that can alter the mind, it should be used sparingly and considerately. Mothers are typically used in communal ceremonies designed to be easily passed from person to person. Yeah, it's the jug. Purge unwanted memories. Okay, what about the Zephyr? Or Zephyrim? Zephyrim. These resonant objects give off a faint odor that will be familiar to any thaumaturge. It is the scent of the storm, of ozone, and power, the scent of magic. When these vapors are inhaled deeply, they can unlock deep wells of anger and channel them into a powerful maelstrom. This is the power of the west wind. Alright, so do I want to give you power or anger? Or do I want to purge unwanted memories? There's still a part of this mind that will not be quieted. Help me to calm this clamoring rage inside my head. Do I want the rage gone? Or do I want to fuel it? This is probably the Zephyrim. It's the scent of the storm. You took a hold of Verona. I think I want the rage to grow, so she takes over. This is my choice. I'm not getting rid of her memory, so you have easier control. I'm helping her fight. I have made my choice. Alright, Jupiter. Let's see how it goes. End of day 15. But the problem with storing powerful dark artifacts is that slowly, inevitably, the darkness seeps out. Ball of yarn. Jupiter, have you been playing with my cards? That's it? That's my clue? A ball of yarn? With a tail. Do you match a street or something? A river? No? Huh. What about the castle? Castle really doesn't have any curves. Catacombs? You're curvy. That way, that way, that way, that way, that way, maybe? Maybe there? Oh my god, I was freaking right. Oh shit. Inhaling deeply from the spirit vault to stave off the madness of the depths, I make my way carefully down crumbling passageways past decaying crypts. Placed carelessly on top of the tomb is a collection of clay pots. Some lie in pieces, but most are whole. At first, the collection seems unremarkable, but one in particular stands out. I take it back up to the surface to take a closer look. Okay then. So clay. Okay, nothing to remark. Alright, so what's that upside down triangle symbol? Earth. Well, that makes sense. You are a clay pot. Clay pot of earth. You can chill out down there. Why does everything scoot so much? Like, seriously, guys. You don't all need to be that close. Is the shelf tilted? Like, honestly. I don't understand, Jupiter. Marion Lancaster. Someone very dear to me has fallen ill. I would like a Nephroquant. Do not be concerned, dear. I have used one before and know what I am doing. Why do you have red bags under your eyes? Nephroquant. Scarring caused by Braxis. Wait, Braxis. Characterized by a necrosis of the flesh, the afflicted will feel no pain, but the scarring has no cure. Oh. Is that why you're covering your hands? These were once worn by the necromancers of the Five Knolls. You've used one before, huh? used them in the rituals of resurrection. Their power became bound to them such that if they were to remove them, even after death, the Nephroquant, wow, I just put that backwards, didn't I? Would crumble to dust. Today, their power is much diminished, but they can be used to draw out infections. However, they will cause Braxis if held against bare skin for long periods. Alright. Use. Rituals of resurrection. Rebirth. Nice little spiral, maybe. Alright, let's see what I got. I was expecting to smell worse. It kind of looks like the Braxis. Leathery and bony. You know what? Oh! So you're not the witch's finger. The item here is the ring, a wearable item. That's the Nephroquant. So instead of taking it off so it would crumble, they took off their own freaking hand. It is attached to a hand scarred by Braxis. The spiral design of this rebirth. Excellent. Alright. Franklin Underhill. Please do pay us a visit. We have some items that we're confident will be of interest to you. Alright. Ooh. Music kicked in. The Twinnings. Artisans of wood, iron, and clay. 2 Market Avenue, Undermere. Market Avenue, Market Avenue, Market Avenue. The Twinnings. The man who dropped off his card introduces himself as the owner of the Twinnings, an unusual sprawling series of grotto-like rooms filled with handcrafted carpentry, ironmongery, and pottery. He leads me past wooden chairs and strange iron contraptions to a room unlike the others. This one is filled with small trinkets, ornaments, and jars of various sizes containing ominous-looking liquids and organic materials. I know it might not look like much, but there are some items of value among the junk here, says the man. Take your time and let me know if you find anything interesting. 2 hours later, and I've indeed unearthed something very interesting that I'm keen to take back to the shop for further investigation. Oh! I am leaving the Twinnings with my haul when a man shouts at me from across the street. As I look around annoyed, I notice to my horror that the man's eyes are as black as coal. He rushes towards me and I stumble backwards, fumbling with the strap of my satchel as I try to grab an item to stop him. A Wyxic cord. Despite the name, these simple-looking items do not produce a Wyxic field. They belong to the diurnal branch. They cause a freezing effect in the body, hearing them the nickname Medusa stones. Fortunately, this effect is not permanent. Oh, you mean like paralysis? Like that? They belong to the diurnal branch. Alright. Alright, back to the beginning. Come on. Diurnal. Okay. So then let's start with out of the way. Let's start with the Noctic. spiral that way. And then the 2 circles. Do you fall under that? You've got the spiral, your paralysis. Work. Beautiful. To my relief, the man goes rigid almost immediately and topples forward onto the cobblestones. I turn and run, wanting to put as much distance as possible between myself and that creature. When I finally come to my senses, I realize I should alert Dr. Robertson, but by the time I return to the Twinnings, the man is nowhere to be seen. Yikes. Alright. So you're a Wyxic cord. Got a little bit more room here now. Move some of the stuff around. The Papalia. I don't think I'll need the Withering again, but you know. There we go. Give you guys a little bit of space there. Jesus. Now you, my good friend. Wood painted green and wood painted to look like bone. Alright, so you are pure wood. Polished, intricate detailing. Smooth. Oh. Chanting. It causes me to reflect on my own mortality. Ooh. Wood chanting. Reflect on mortality. Alright, come join the crew. Edmund Bishop. Something bad is about to happen. The ravens know it. My grandfather once taught me how to use a Cassander to see the paths ahead, but I saw what it did to him and vowed never to touch one again after he died. But the gnawing worry of what is coming has become too much for me. Cassander. Tree with split paths. The eyes of a Cassander focus the power of the mind, enabling those skilled enough to see the path or paths ahead. These items do not produce a mentic field as one might expect, but rather the more mysterious selenic. Care should always be taken with any object of prophecy, and these are no different. Many have been seduced or driven mad by the path shown to them and have been led to ruin. Alright, so it's a tree with a whole crap load of arrows. Branching paths. And a selenic. Selenic. Triangle. And then at the top. Alright, DNA strand. Nope. Figured since it was a tree, I'd give it a go. Eyes of the piercing soul. Chills the blood. Palm reading would be good. No, near a spiral. Nope, I need DNA. Oh, you are DNA. guess you are an option. You are not. Oh, 2 snakes. But nope. Oh, you are also. Just for the heck of it, you also. Nope. Nope. Oh, you have a weak field. Nope. Okay. Well, you don't have a field at all. Did I check you guys? I did. Which is why you're in different positions. Okay, so it's between these 3. Malachite vibrates with energy. That's all the elements. Jade is for earth. Malachite, maybe. The 4th eye, a stone of sight. That would do it. That will do it. Yep, stones of sight. Perfect. Good luck, sir. Gilbert Ames. There's always seems to be something going on in Undermere. There really does. The sooner I can get this sorted and be on my way, the better. My uncle gave me a ring, and I have had nothing but bad fortune ever since. I'm starting to think it might be cursed. Is there any way to uncurse it? Ooh, uncurse an item. Do you have a blue tint? Maybe? Morgan's insanity, the poison of the mind. Those suffering from this curse speak of increasingly vivid nightmares. Waking hallucinations. Let's see. Is there something that says to break a curse? Curse. Custom purifier? Submerged in liquid. Cleansed of simple imbued curses or hexes. Of course. Do you want a custom purifier? That might work. Let's try. Yeah. Should get rid of your curse, if you have one. Lavinia Hawthorne. I've been researching ancient customs, particularly those relating to thaumaturgy, and I am fascinated by the use of objects in ritual ceremonies. That always leads to trouble. If you are able to get your hands on a Griss, I would be very interested in studying it further. A Griss, you say? For the ritual of the broken path, a Griss is heated slowly over flame. To have full effect, it must be held in an ungloved hand until the ritual is complete, no matter how hot it gets. The ritual should not be performed by those who have not studied the Wyxic art. It is common to suffer burns, but when done correctly, it should not be painful. Grish heated slowly over flame. So something that gets hot. Like, if I hold it over this, will I drop it because it gets too hot? Is that what you're trying to tell me? By those who have studied the Wyxic art. Does that mean it has a Wyxic thing? Okay, well, Wyxic. It should have a Wyxic field then, right? Okay. Okay, so it should do the big hip wave. Nope. 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 DNA. Okay, you do the big hip wave. Do you get hot? Not say anything. All right. Spiral. DNA. Barely. You're 10. You would get hot. You definitely would get hot. You know what? Oh. You want the hand? Nope. Well, that solves those two problems. Here is a spirit's eye. All the elements. You gonna get hot for me? Hmm? No? Well. Nothing to remark, huh? What's your wave? Nope. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is Spirit's Eye. Swirl. Nope. You don't have one at all. Fire, ice, paralysis. It's been burned because it's got the soot. Is it you? Because you've been burned before? It is. Okay. Good luck on your test. Try not to get third-degree burns while you're at it. Leopold Morris. There has been a basilisk sighting in the hills across the river from Backborough. Oh no. I wouldn't say I'm a brave man, but I have a duty to protect my livestock in my village. Better me than a younger man with his life ahead of him. I have come to prepare my sword. Alright, so something to kill a basilisk, huh? Basilisk. Cyrene Ward. They do not, however, offer protection against the deadly basilisk itself. Cool. So, Folium. A blade is drawn across the face of a Folium 6 times during the ritual of the Hand of Prior. Dreyer huntsmen and those wanting to prove themselves perform this ritual before seeking out the basilisk, as a Folium blade is the only known way to pierce its thick armor. A Folium blade. Folium. A blade is drawn across the face of a Folium 6 times. Oh. A blade is drawn across the face of a Folium 6 times. Meaning the Folium itself isn't the blade. It just makes the blade stronger. Okay. Well, it's definitely not going to be clay. Stone. Those would do it. Sharpen it with stone. That's the elements. Chills my blood to hold it. Crisscross grooved. Would that be from blade scraping across it? I guess. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of options. And a lack of options proves to just wing it. Excellent. Francesca! They've escaped! At first, my patience grew agitated when I used the Godian siren, but then I had a breakthrough. Vivian Cartwright woke up. She seemed lucid, calm even. I made a stupid mistake and loosened her restraints. I don't know what happened, whether the siren stopped working, or if perhaps it had never worked and she tricked me. But almost immediately she changed back and turned violent. Before I knew it, she had managed to free the others. We tried to stop them, but they fought their way out of the hospital. I have no idea where they've gone. Yikes. Well, that's not good. Almost imperceptibly, the casket began to absorb the crepuscular... What? Crepuscular? Crepuscular? I don't know. Power that had leached into the stone and the earth of its lightless tomb. Another tombstone? Oh, a time. Day 17. All right. That one. So, the half moon. The dark side on the left. A half moon with the dark side on the left. That one. The air is stifling in the darkness, and the claustrophobia of the tunnels almost overwhelms me, but I press on. I remind myself that there are a few who venture down here, which means the chances of an interesting find are higher. It doesn't take long for my search to bear fruit. Oh, a dagger. Wood, oak, if I'm not mistaken, and gold. Sharper than it looks. Alright, so oak and gold. It's got a swirly symbol on it. Is it spirituality? goes counterclockwise. So rebirth. All right. Cool. You can hang there with a couple friends. Sorry. Thaddeus! The Wither Rinse was a terrible idea. Only gone and made things worse. I wish Eli was back. He'd know what to do. Some years ago now, a friend brought an item to me, a black casket, and I learned that it was a dark article. Don't open it. I should have brought it to Eli right then and there, but I knew he would want to destroy it. I'm a collector of things. It seemed too important to allow it to be destroyed, but I see how naive that was now. This casket is far more dangerous than anything I have come across before. And now I hear they are looking for it with their black eyes. Either I need to keep them out of the museum or bring the casket here to Strange Antiquities and hide it in one of its secret places. A Dread Vivant or a Lunima. Dread Vivant is the only way to handle some of the more dangerous artifacts. It can siphon power away from oneself for a time. The power rising up off a Dread Vivant is subtle but noticeably invigorating. These objects represent the balance of life and death, of good and evil, of hope and despair. Okay. Or Lunima. A Lunima, also called a moon pool or heart of tranquility, harnesses the power of the elements to create an aura of unease. They can be used to keep people away from places they are not welcome. There is a superstition among thaumaturges that say that a Lunima should not be used when the moon is full. It's not known where this idea came from. Well, you're probably in Lunima. So... but the question is, which one do I give you? The Dread Vivant or the Lunima? The Lunima will protect you and keep them away. But the Dread Vivant will allow you to handle it and bring it to me. One of you is probably the Dread Vivant. What would be a Lunima? You're probably the Lunima. Jade is for the earth, though. What do I want to give you? What do I want to give you? You've kept it safe there for a while. But if it stays there with you, they're gonna come after you. So maybe I should have you bring it to me. Alright, that's it. I'm gonna have you bring it to me. You should have brought it here anyway. Okay, it's Dread Vivant's probably one of these two. Okay. Yep. Death in the flower life. Good luck. I'm gonna make you white. Hey, David. There's an uneasy quiet in town today. There aren't many people out and about. heading straight home as soon as I'm done with my deliveries.
Good idea.
Bye, David. Good luck. I have recently come into possession of a number of texts on the subject of arcane artifacts. You are welcome to them if they are of any use to you. If I don't hear from you, then I will donate them to the library across the street. Oh, library across the street. Library. Woodsworth Library, 26. So the library across the street. Dunk. Several of the scrolls look promising, but they are written in the Dradic script and my understanding is too rudimentary to make use of them. If Verona was around, I'm sure she could translate them, but she isn't, and I can't. But what if I used a Babalia? The effect of the Babalia makes my head spin and I close my eyes tight for a moment as my mind catches up. The pages swirl and blur in front of me, letters and words floating in and out of focus. After a time, I find that I can read them, though it takes some effort and I feel drained as I reach the end. It's okay. We'll take a nap. Anna Bryant. Why aren't you colorful? With all that's been happening at Undermere, I picked the worst week possible to lose my Bricket charm. I hope that you have one that I can replace it with. I'm sure I do. Let's try and find it. Ooh. Well, look at that beautiful crescent there. Powerful item that offers hope in times of worry, protection in times of darkness, and wisdom in times of uncertainty. It wields the power of the maiden, the mother, and the crone, the Wiccan triple goddesses. Okay. Well, I don't have a lot that's left. Well, the moon is normally the symbol. And the side. Yeah. Yeah. Normally the... Ooh. A vessel of the earth used in various Dradic rituals. Argyle. That's a freaking Argyle, isn't it? Yeah. It's a clay pot with the symbol of the earth on it. It's pretty easy. Eli! Hey, buddy! Sorry, I did not intend to be away for so long. I trust the shop has not been too much trouble to look after my absence. A shitload has happened while you've been gone. I've learned a lot from my time in Oxford. There is a powerful dark article here in Undermere called the Nalian Casket. Yeah, I know! Your brother has it. Now you're telling me that my foolish half-wit of a brother has had it in his museum this whole time? Yup. I'm glad you were listening. I know how to destroy it, but it's not going to be easy. Whatever happens, it must not be opened. We will need to create a Pillar of Calaris. From what I gather, such a feat has not been attempted in over 500 years. First time for everything. Let's go. Just hope there's enough time to prepare. I'm afraid I can't stay, but I'll be back as soon as I can. Stop leaving! You better be leaving to go get the ingredients for this shit. Pillar of Calaris is a powerful blast of energy that can consume the darkness. In my opinion, it is the safest way to destroy powerful dark articles. It can only be produced at a place of significant thaumic divergence, or convergence. Strength and weakness, light and darkness, align the opposing powers at opposing compass points. With Crochan's light, the strong will be made weak and the dark will be made light. With Crochan's light? Okay. Corchin. An Ossic ring. Okay. Oh. Snakes. An Ossic ring. There we go. Okay, so there's my Ossic ring. Power blast and consume the darkness. My opinion is the safest way to disrupt power for Artela. Place of Thaumic convergence. Strength and weakness, light and darkness. Align the opposing powers at opposite compass points. Alright, buddy. If you say so. Isabel Stowe. I've had my energy drained by some disturbing evil power. For days now I felt tired and frail, and then today I found something that horrified me. Beneath my bed I discovered a carved wooden effigy with a strange symbol painted upon it. I don't know who has done this to me, but all I want for now is to lift this feeling of weakness. Alright. Blue tint. Do you have blue tint to the eyes? No. Suffering from this curse, speak of increasingly vivid nightmares. Well, she's just extremely tired. So, let's see. What would... Tired. Triple goddess. Weather, mundane elements, regular alien material, death, life, paralysis, poison, truth, strength. So what if I give you something with strength? You probably have something with weakness, which is why you're tired. So we need to give you something with strength, right? Strength. Oh, no. Feeling. Binding seed. Feelings of shame and guilt. Nope. Stop going back to the beginning. Go back to where you left me off. Atlantic totem. Nope, okay. So, yeah, let's go with strength. Fortinance can enhance physical strength or restore strength that has been sapped by whether exertion or by hex. Yeah, how about Fortinance? Good luck. Susan Hill. I would like a Blood-Beck. The nameless ones are restless. I am ready to hear their voices. I see the ritual went well. Looking a little old there now, aren't you? It was once thought that these objects could be used to commune with the dead, but it is now widely believed that such a thing is not possible. It is not known where the strange voices that emanate from a Blood-Beck originate, but there are some who believe they are the voices of nameless gods. Chanting. I bet you're a Blood-Beck. You got a bloodstone on you. Yep. Yep, the whispers within.
Sorry, Jupiter.
Thaddeus! I went to move the casket, but it's gone. What do we do? I heard Eli's back in town, but he hasn't come to see me. And if he's not here, then I don't know where to find him. Oh god, what do we do? Okay, so I should have given you the thing to protect it, huh? Well, okay, that's my bad. That's my bad. I'm sorry. It festered and pulsated until it could no longer be contained. Some part of it reached out from the darkness, creating eyes so that it might find itself, and hands so that it might open itself. The casket wanted to be opened.
Man, what is up with all these things? Just like causing trouble. Wanting to be opened. Oh.
Books. I lie below books and scrolls on the esoteric and the arcane.
Day 18.
We have books in here. There's only one book. I haven't been to the castle in a while. The library.
What if we tried the library?
Esoterica and Arcana. Entering the library, I'm drawn to a dark alcove round to the right bearing the title Esoterica and Arcana. I'm sure there is much to learn here, but sadly, a cursory glance is all I have time for today. Piled up on a reading desk, I find books on ornithology alongside bestiaries of the old world. You can learn a lot about a person from the books that they read. Alright, so it wasn't in the library, so is it below the library? I should not have come here. What about that one? Doesn't seem right. Come on, it literally said the Esoterica and the Arcana. What else do you want from me? A circle with the line through it. Isn't that like the Omega or something? It's a Greek symbol. Nope. Okay. The library is lead with Saturn. That tower is fear. What about those three lines? Storm. Little blazing sun there. Gold the sun. Huh. Conservatory? What happens if I go to the master bedroom? The grand four-poster bed dominates the room, but my eye is drawn to a portrait on the far wall. It depicts a brown-haired woman of simple beauty with a raven perched on her shoulder, Elizabeth, Edmund's late wife. All at once I realize that I'm intruding in this personal space and I leave feeling guilty and uneasy. Yeah, told me not to go. Wasn't there somewhere else he told me not to go? Kind of curious now. There's all kinds of rooms. Jesus. Literally every box. Oh, God. Okay. Where do I go? The library was like the most obvious. So you weren't here, you weren't here. Hello below books and scrolls on the esoteric and the arcane. To the library, I'm drawn to a dark alcove around to the right, bearing the title. Oh, wait. Why did you draw me a picture? There. Why are you drawing me a picture of where you found it? So in the notch. So it's here. Why did you point that out? That would be below, but that didn't work. No, it's a floor map. That would be to the side. Below would be the floor below. So here, below. Must have taken a wrong turn. This is okay. What about that one then? That one! As I open the door, I am hit by the musty smell of damp. This room must have been hasn't been entered for some time. The corner of the room is piled high with scrolls of parchment and old books, but underneath the debris, I find something of interest. Piece of wood with stone. Fantastic. Piece of driftwood, even. Turquoise gemstone of water. Why do you look like you spin? I have nothing to remark. Alright. Driftwood. Waterstone. Party started, shall we, Jupiter? Hi, Eli! The museum was ransacked last night, I heard. I'm looking for my brother, but he's nowhere to be found. The good news is they didn't find what they were looking for. Yay! Yay! I moved the casket myself and hid it here in one of Strange Antiquities' vaults. Sweet! It's safe for now, but we can't leave it here for long. I have more to prepare, but I've left instructions on how to access the vault in the desk drawer. Okay. Thanks. Oh, it's the Bishop Square. A candle that gives off no light. An anchor that has never touched the ocean. A finger, but not a flesh. Okay. Candle that gives off no light is easy. An anchor that has never touched the ocean is also easy. Shadow anchor. A finger, but not a flesh. Finger, but not a flesh. That's the interesting one. Talon, maybe. Diverging hook. It's not a finger. Lead heart. spirit vault. Spirit eye hasn't officially been found. Okay. Needle, Valent. Water shadow. Water shadow. I bet you that's what that freaking driftwood is. Witch's finger. What I thought was the witch's finger is not a witch's finger. Witch's fingers are said to be the severed digits of the Witch of Undermere. They are capable of inflicting intense pain, but the goal is supposedly purification of the body. Most unpleasant experience, but a last resort that has cured some and finished off others. Okay, well, I don't have a lot of options. That's Corvan's Knight. That's probably the Water Shadow. That's an Argyle. Piercing Eyes. Moon and the Witch's Sign. Home of the Witch. Maybe that's the Witch's finger. It's definitely not a finger. That's the Witch's finger. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Blackened wood. Rough. I have nothing to remark. A complex feeling comes over me. It is both horrifying and yet compelling. Well, that's not good. Alright, so... this is the witch's finger. Alright, well now that I've got the dreaded box, what do I do with it? I'll put you there. Actually, down here. No one needs to know you're there. Actually... no one needs to know you're there. No one will know, Jupiter. The lake has turned black. As omens go, I'd say that's probably quite a bad one, but the mail won't deliver itself. David, you are just a man of integrity. Job must get done. Found this note in an old writing desk up at Gleaston Castle. I expect it will mean more to you. Fear in autumn, rising in winter. Feels all too prescient as we will hurtle towards winter and a terrible unknown fate, Evie. Alright, cool. Fear in autumn, rising in winter. Alright, well. Symbol for fear. Yoink. That's the symbol for fear. Fear in autumn, rising in winter. I searched the room at the foot of the western tower quite thoroughly before finding a stash of papers. To my dismays, they were largely the scrawlings of a madman. A madman, but amongst the nonsense there's some valuable information. Ooh, new pages. Thank you. Still need to figure out what to do with you. Alright. Hello, Mr. Potter. I've discovered the missing piece of the puzzle. There is an ancient shrine to the nameless gods at the skull of Blancathra. Seems humanity tried worshipping them once long ago, but we learned how little they care for us. We must take the casket there. Whatever happens, we must not allow it to be opened.
I want to open it.
I have a feeling you're... Oh! I meet with Barton Potter at the end. Oh no! I started it! Dang it! I just wanted to see what would happen. Ready? You have the casket. Back to text. Oh. What if I don't want to? You know what? I guess this is it, folks. I show him the small black chest and his hand moves up to rub the side of his eye absent-mindedly. Smaller than I remember. What do you mean, remember? We begin our descent into the depths, down twisting tunnels and past silent tombs. It is hard going, and we pass the time deep in thought, only speaking when we need to consult the map. Finally, we come to a large cavern illuminated by our flickering torches and is the giant skull of some long dead beast, huge and terrifying and ominous, the skull of Blancathra. It is too big to have found its way through the tight tunnel, so it's not clear how it got here, but we don't have time to ponder that now. It soon becomes apparent that our journey has only just begun. The skull marks the entrance to a new system of tunnels, ones that are not marked on our map. We trudge onwards deeper into the earth, trying not to think about the pressing weight of rock above our heads. Stop! He says it so abruptly that I nearly drop the torch in panic. Then I see it, a terrifying chasm in the path ahead. By some trick of the shadows and with my mind elsewhere, I'd come close to stepping onto nothing. This is gonna be tricky. At first, I don't see how we can get past this obstacle. The gap is too big to jump, and attempting to traverse it would be too dangerous. Then I remember the items I have with me. Surely there is something I can make use of. Oh, boy. Okay. Flight. I need flight. Tragic death, darkness, earth, fear, feeling, fire. That's right. I have something that floats. Levitation. Dataless link. Move. Dataless link. I activate the levitation field around us and feel an unsettling sensation as my feet leave the ground. We float slowly across the chasm and my heart beats faster in my chest. It is tempting to race across to the other side and feel solid rock beneath our feet. But a dataless link requires a delicate balancing act and must be used slowly and carefully. We reach the other side with great relief and continue on our way down the narrow corridor. I'm the first one to spot the next obstacle. As we approach a bend in the tunnel, I see a flickering orange light sending shadows dancing across the wall. Peering around the corner, I'm confronted by a bright light that my eyes struggle to adjust to. A wall of intense flame fills the passage from floor to ceiling, an impossible bright yellow-orange fire swirling and billowing and roaring in a place where it should not be. I watch, mesmerized for a moment, trying to work out where the fire is coming from before being forced to retreat from the heat. What is it? I explain our hopeless predicament, and as I do, I realize that perhaps it is not so hopeless after all. Perhaps there is a way through. Something to fight fire. Fire, fire, fire. Fire. I'm going to endure intense heat. Safely on the other side of the fire-filled tunnel, the passageway begins to widen and soon it opens out into a vast cavern. Ancient stalagmites reach up towards delicate stalactites that spear down from the ceiling far above. It is strangely warm, perhaps heated by the same unnatural fire that we have just come through. In its center sits a dark pool. Its black depths are featureless, the flickering torchlight offering no reflection upon its surface. Blancathra's basin. What do we do now? I'm stunned. I thought he knew what he was doing. We begin to explore our surroundings, both of us instinctively staying away from the edge of the imposing dark pool. We scour every corner of the cavern, looking for some clue as to how to proceed, but after a lengthy search, we find nothing. My companion is growing impatient. I guess we just throw it in? I'm not so sure about this plan, but before I can react, Barton has grabbed the casket and taken it up to the edge of the water. He pauses, contemplating, when suddenly a shuddering vibration rocks the cavern and knocks us both off of our feet. The surface of the pool swirls and churns as three terrifying appendages burst out from its depths. They're long and black and spiny, and they stab and scrabble at the rock floor around the relic hunter. Ah! Barton is stabbed through the abdomen, and a second appendage pierces his chest, killing him instantly. It all happens so quickly. Before I know it, the spiny appendages have retreated below the surface of the pool once more, carrying Barton's body and the Nalian casket with them, and the black waters return to stillness. I shiver, despite the warmth of the cavern, and turn and run without looking back. This is the end, the skull of Blancala. Follow the relic hunter's path. All right, that's our first ending. It has been several weeks now, and I still wake sweating and screaming in the night. I cannot sleep without a moonstone guardian at my bedside, and even then it is turbulent, disturbed sleep. Every night I relive the terror of those moments in the catacombs. Every night I try to rewrite what happened and save Barton. Every night I fail and watch him die again. I am grateful that at least his sacrifice was not in vain. Those who were under the casket's spell, including my friend Verona, have been released. They remembered nothing from their ordeal, but there seems to be no lingering ill effects, and Dr. Robertson says they have all made a full recovery. And yet, still something feels unresolved. I cannot shake the feeling that whatever took the casket was not the recipient we intended. I push these thoughts from my mind, but at night my resolve is weaker and the fear takes hold. I can only hope that time will help, but something tells me that these wounds will never fully heal. Ending 2, disturbed sleep. Eli's alive, Rona's alive, Rebecca's alive, Barton is deceased, killed by some eldritch entity while trying to give the casket note to the nameless gods. Edmund's alive, Francesca's alive, Bonnie Robertson's insane. Sorry. Audrey's deceased. Oh. Jack Hungerford is insane. He never recovered after falling deeper into the trance, his mind forever broken. Thaddeus is alive, although ashamed to be a part of his plight. Simon's alive, and Jupiter rescued! Haha! Wait, I can fail in the rescue? Oh no. Okay. Sorry, Jack. Alright, our first ending is ending 2. Sweet. Day 19. Epilogue. Again, soaked to the bone before I'm halfway through my rounds. I'm fed up with it. Got a few bob to spare if you know a way to keep me dry. I do, buddy. Have a storm ward. On the house. Identify all items. And with that, I am done. Time for a well-earned rest right after I give Jupiter one last scratch behind the ears. Good night for now, Jupiter. All right. That's the epilogue, everything identified. I'm going to end things here for now. I'm going to go back and try and get the other endings. So hopefully, if I've done it right, this should be followed by endings 1 through however many they are. So, be right back. Okay, so for this one, I gave Thaddeus the Lunima instead of the Dread Vivant. So let's see. Thaddeus runs along the dark corridor, his eyes wide with terror. He clutches the largest remaining shard of the shattered Lunima in his hand. He only has one thought in his head. He must not allow his pursuers to reach the casket. He will draw them to the armory. It's his only hope. His heart sinks as he rounds the corner. No. 3 more black-eyed assailants are coming from the other direction. He's trapped. His final thoughts are consumed by fear. There's nothing stopping him now. The casket will be opened. It's all his fault. It's time to end this. Now, bring the casket to the pit. Okay. Map of Undermere. The pit. Number 20. The sun is low in the sky as we arrive at the pit, casting a warm light across the treetops and the open fields. A solitary raven cries out from the tree line, and I look to the skies, but they are empty. The pit itself is an ominous sight that the otherwise serene atmosphere can do nothing to diminish. It is a scorched black hole, perhaps 5 meters in diameter, that has an unnatural look to it. This is a site of thaumic convergence. It is no simple thing to destroy an object of this kind. We need to set up opposing powers at opposing compass points, strength and weakness, light and darkness. And finally, we need the light of Corchin to bind them. All right. Strength in the north. Fortinance. Weakness in the south. Weakness, witherance. Light in the west. Sun bond. And then darkness in the east, a Tenebrin cloak. Tenebrin cloak, Tenebrin cloak. Oh, Tenebrin cloak. Where'd you go? Tenebrin cloak. Bonk. Alright. Oh, Light of Fortune. That's right. Light of Fortune in the center. Use items. Eli inspects my work. His face shows little emotion, but he seems satisfied. By now the sun has finished setting and only a hint of red afterglow remains in the darkening sky. The raven croaks his mournful cry once again, but this time there is a reply, and then another. I look up and see several dark shapes circling above. Quickly now, they're here. I spin around to find Eli's gaze, and my pulse quickens as I look out across the field. A large group of shadowy figures is walking steadily towards us. We can't see their faces at this distance in the low light, but I'd be willing to bet that every one of them has pools of midnight for eyes. In the sky above, the ravens continue to grow in number, and their caws and cries get louder and louder. I look down at the black object in my hands. Such a small thing, and yet its seductive power is impossible to ignore. It wants to be opened. Suddenly, it feels inevitable. The casket, now! But I'm not sure I want to give it to him. All right, what do I want to use? I'm gonna give you the casket. I won't open it. The wave of intoxicating power washes over me, but I hold strong against it. I hand over the casket, and together we begin activating the items arranged around the pit. Working as fast as we can, it still takes longer than we'd like, and when I look up again, the thaumaturge has fear in his eyes. We're too late. The mob is upon us. One of them grabs Eli and tries to wrestle the casket from his hands. I rush across to help him, but it's no use. They are all around us. The man tears the casket free, and it clatters to the floor, skittering towards the edge of the pit before coming to rest on the precipice. A gray-haired woman stoops to pick it up, and I am surprised to find that I recognize her. It's Verona Green, the occult scholar. The mob cheers, but Verona turns towards me, and I am no longer afraid. Her eyes are ringed with darkness, but they are not black. Back from the dead. She winks at me and throws the casket into the pit. At the same moment, Eli activates the light of Corchin. Time stands still, and then there is a rush and a roar as a swirling vortex of blue-green light races up out of the pit. The casket is sent soaring up into the night sky, where it seems to hang for a moment, turning slowly in the air until, with a shrieking, splintering crash, it shatters into 1,000 pieces, and then there is nothing but smoke and the smell of ozone, and all is quiet. Destroy the casket. It has been a few weeks since the casket was destroyed, but I am still riding high on the elation and relief from that night. Everything seemed to come together right when it needed to, and somehow we avoided a terrible catastrophe. Those who were under the casket's spell were released almost immediately. They remember nothing from their ordeal, but there seems to be no lingering ill effects, and Dr. Robertson says they have all made a full recovery. It is rare for Eli to express much emotion, but even he congratulated me on my strength and resolve in the face of such darkness. He too felt the allure of the casket and was worried that it would overwhelm me. He told me with a hint of pride that I would make a fine thaumaturge. Ending 1. A catastrophe avoided. The casket has been destroyed and Undermere is safe again. Eli lives, Verona lives, Rebecca lives, Barton lives. I'm glad you lived this time, buddy. Edmund's alive, Francesca's alive, Bonnie's insane. Sorry. Yeah, you're still insane this time. Sorry. Audrey's still deceased. Yeah, I'm not saving you anytime soon. Sorry, Jack, you're still insane. And I might have killed Thaddeus this run. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Simone's alive and Jupiter's rescued. Excellent. Ending over. Okay, so for this ending, on day 12, I gave Audrey the Fortinance, because I found it. And now on day 15, she's come back and has said, "You have shown yourself to be a useful ally in these worrisome times. Keep one eye on the lake in the coming days. When blackened eyes seek the casket and waters turn to midnight, perform the sacrament and have faith in Holgar." And what is this? The sacrament is a baptism ceremony in which one's life is pledged to the warrior god, Holgar. It is performed by a blood priest within a stone circle. In spring, a charm of green growth. In summer, a pendant of the yellow sun. In autumn, an instrument of the red night. In winter, a totem of blue fire. Alright, we're gonna need that a little bit later. But we will see her later for her endings. Alright. We're back, day 18. Time to finish off this ending. So we are going with Audrey, who is here. She's the blood priest. So we're gonna head to the Bleak Stones instead. As I approach the island in a small rowing boat, I notice a shrouded figure standing watching me from the shore. The priest. She is lit by flickering orange torchlight, which deepens the red of her cloak and makes her look taller and more threatening somehow. For a brief moment, the dim lightning and her dark eyeshadow makes me think that she is one of them. But the flame flickers across the whites of her eyes, and I get closer, and the moment passes. "Welcome. Do you have the sacrament?" I nod, and she helps steady the boat as I climb out. Together, we walk slowly up the small beach in search of the Bleak Stones, a small ring made up of slabs of gray slate, the largest of which, the Kingstone, is only waist height. It is not hard to find. Fear hits my gut as we get closer, and I see something I had not expected. Spread out around the perimeter of the stones are dozens of the priest's followers standing motionless, their heads bowed. The casket will be opened, and when it is, we alone shall be spared Holgar's wrath. Her followers let out a cheer that is more of a bloodthirsty roar. The priest gestures towards the 4 stone plinths arranged in a semicircle in the center of the ring slate. Arrange the sacrament while I prepare. All right. The sun bond goes into summer. River's Edge in autumn. A Vestiture in winter. What did I do with my Vestiture? What did I do with it? What did I do? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Scythian Charm in spring, and then Vestiture. It freaking says it. Alright, that should be it. Alright, as I have been preparing the sacrament, the priest has built a small pyre of tightly packed wood, about waist height, next to the largest of the stones. I hear a raucous cry, and then another, and another. I join the congregation, looking up to see a swirling mass of black shapes. Ravens. The priest produces a mask from within her cloak and places it over her face. The imposing atmosphere builds in intensity, and I take a deep breath to calm my pulse. Let us begin. Ooh, so cool. As she says these words, the damp pyre erupts into flame, whether by some trick or magic I couldn't say, but the priest with her torch is some distance away. Her dark eyes sparkle behind the pale mask. Great Holgar, I bring you light and life. I bring you spring and summer, autumn and winter on this day of reckoning. A rhythmic chanting begins to sound across the circle. And now, the casket. Her eyes lock with mine, and I feel suddenly weak under her gaze. She reaches out a hand expectantly. How does she know I have the casket? The chanting dies and is replaced by odd whispers as the acolytes catch on. I flounder, not knowing what to do, but I decide the only thing I can do is surrender to her power. The casket. I kneel and offer up the Nalian casket to the priest. I have waited a long time for this moment. She takes the casket from me and places it reverently atop the kingstone. As she turns to face me, I feel a sudden chill down my spine. She is holding the weaving edge. Holgar, I give you this gift of life that is not mine to give. Cold fear grips me as I realize how naive I have been. She didn't bring me here to be saved by Holgar's protective embrace. She brought me as a sacrifice. She advances calmly towards me with the blade held at her side, pale mask wet with rain and shining in the light from the pyre. The chanting rises in volume and intensity. I must act quickly. Say Cedric's thunder or Corvan's might. I bring out the small wooden box as the priest lunges towards me. There is no time to think, so I rip open the lid and let loose the power contained within. An almighty thunderclap erupts from the box in my hands, and a flash of bright white light blinds me for a moment. When I recover, I see devastation before me. Thin white smoke and the smell of ozone fills the air. The kingstone is cracked in two, and a twisted body lays on the ground nearby. But to my horror, the priest is unharmed. Standing next to the wreckage of the kingstone and her fallen acolyte, she whirls towards me with madness in her eyes, her red cloak swirling behind her like a wave of blood. I try to run, but strong arms grab me from behind and I am unable to move. Great Holgar, whose rage is endless, we offer you this blood of the sacrament to prove our devotion to you. Protect us from what is to come. The last thing I see in this world is the priest's exultant face, eyes wide behind the horned skull mask, as she brings the knife sweeping down and plunging it straight into my heart. The black stones follow the priest's path. The casket has been opened. The priest performed the sacrament with the blood of the sacrifice, and her congregation was spared. but they soon learned that Holgar's bloodlust was never sated, and he cared little for them. It is only a matter of time before they turn on their leader. My part in this story, such as it was, is over. In the end, I was led astray by the promises of a dangerous fanatic, and I have paid the price. Eli is cursed, Verona is cursed, Rebecca is cursed, Barton is cursed. All cursed when the casket was open. Edmund is alive. He read the signs and fled before the catastrophe. Francesca's alive. She's survived after the casket was opened, but she's a shell of her former self. Bonnie's insane. Audrey's alive. Clinging to power in a bleak new world. For now. Jackson's still insane. Thaddeus is alive. Ashamed of his part. Simona's alive. She's hiding out in the Wordsworth Library. And as long as Jupiter's alive, that's all that really matters. Ending 3, Divine Retribution. A fatal error has been made. Death and darkness cover the land. All right. Okay. Another ending. As I approach the island in a small rowing boat, I notice a shrouded figure standing watching me from the shore. The priest. She is lit by flickering orange torchlight, which deepens the red of her cloak. It makes her look taller and more threatening somehow. For a brief moment, the dim lighting and her dark eyeshadow make me think that she is one of them. But the flame flickers across the whites of her eyes as I get closer as the moment passes. Welcome. Do you have the sacrament? I nod and she helps steady the boat as I climb out. Together we walk slowly up the small beach in search of the bleak stones. A small ring made up of slabs of gray slate, the largest of which, the kingstone, is only waist height. It's not hard to find. Fear hits my gut as we get closer and I see something I had not expected. Spread out around the perimeter of the stones are dozens of the priest's followers standing motionless, their heads bowed. The casket will be opened, and when it is, we alone shall be spared Holgar's wrath. Her followers let out a cheer that is more of a bloodthirsty roar. The priest gestures towards the 4 stone plinths arranged in a semicircle in the center of the ring and states, "Arrange the sacrament while I prepare." All right. Spring is the Cynthian charm. No. Cynthian charm. Summer is the sun bond. Weaver's edge. And then the vestiger. Use items. As I have been preparing the sacrament, the priest has built a small pyre of tightly packed wood, about waist height, next to the largest of the stones. I hear a raucous cry, and then another, and another. I join the congregation looking up to see a swirling mass of black shapes. Ravens. The priest produces a mask from within her cloak and places it over her face. The imposing atmosphere builds in intensity, and I take a deep breath to calm my nerves. Let us begin. As she says these words, the damp pyre erupts into flame, whether by some trick or magic I couldn't say. But the priest with her torch is some distance away. Her dark eyes sparkle behind the pale mask. Great Holgar, I bring you light and life. I bring you spring and summer, autumn and winter, on this day of reckoning. A rhythmic chanting begins to sound across the circle. And now, the casket. Her eyes lock with mine and I feel suddenly weak under her gaze. She reaches out a hand expectantly. How does she know I have the casket? The chanting dies and it is replaced by awe whispers as the acolytes catch on. I flounder, not knowing what to do, but I decide the only thing I can do is surrender to her power. Clink. I kneel and offer up the Nalian casket to the priest. I have waited a long time for this moment. She takes the casket from me and places it reverently atop the kingstone. As she turns to face me, I feel a sudden chill down my spine. She is holding the weaving edge. Holgar, I give you this gift of life that is not mine to give. Cold fear grips me as I realize how naive I have been. She didn't bring me here to be saved by Holgar's protective embrace. She brought me as a sacrifice. She advances calmly towards me with the blade held at her side. Pale mask wet with rain and shining in the light from the pyre. The chanting rises in volume and intensity. I must act quickly. Corvan's might. I'm fighting back. I brandish the Corvan's might, hoping that the threat will be enough to deter the priest. But she whirls towards me with madness in her eyes, her red cloak swirling behind her like a wave of blood. She lunges at me faster than I am ready for, and I barely manage to avoid the blade as her arm comes scything towards me. On her second attack, the weaving edge plunges into my shoulder and I cry out in pain, but somehow I keep hold of the bloodstone totem in my other hands. With the one last desperate act, I conjure Corvan's power and direct it at the crazed priest. There's a bright flash, and I am sent reeling backwards. The priest crumbles to the floor, dead. A cheer goes up around the circle, and I am horrified to see an acolyte run forward and dip the weaving edge in the priest's blood. I shudder to see their coldness laid bare. These people do not care who is sacrificed to save their skins as long as it is not them. The acolyte takes the dripping red blade and plunges it into the casket, and the world goes black. The casket has been opened. We fulfilled the sacrament and were spared. But with the priest dead, the spell has been broken, and the congregation has begun to splinter. I was never really one of them, but there are some who look to me for leadership now. They seem to think I am more dangerous than I really am. I shudder to think what will happen when they find out I am not. Ending 4, Holgar's Wrath. I put my trust in a serpent-tongued priest and a vengeful god. I must reap the consequences. Audrey Bell, killed by her own hand during the sacrament ceremony. This time I gave Rebecca Rose the spirit's eye. What have you done to me? I wish I'd never come to this shop. I've peeled back the curtain and found a world of darkness and despair. My blind eyes are more open than yours have ever been. The old gods reach out through the tall stones, but we have forgotten their names and their tongue. Something stirs their slumber. They want something from us. I wish I'd never come here, and yet I feel more alive than I have in a long time. I will let you know if I see more with the spirit eye. Thanks, Rebecca. I'll see you later. Rebecca's back. The spirit eye has revealed more. I know what these nameless gods are after. It is a box of some kind. They have no name for it, but they say we call it the Nalian Casket. They can feel its power, and they want it for themselves. They're afraid it's going to be opened, that all its power will spill out and be wasted. Not that they care what happens to humanity in the process. I know this sounds like the ramblings of a mad old lady. I know people look at me, and they see weakness and frailty, but I am not wrong about this. Goodness me, this is all quite exciting. Is it always like this around here? Yeah, in Undermere, most definitely. I'll see you later, Rebecca. Okay, so in this run through, I thought I'd be a little cheeky, and I thought I'd give her sister the Corvan's might. And she went after Potter. I don't even know where to start. I think someone tried to kill me yesterday. She had a damned Corvan's might. I'm lucky that she didn't know what she was doing, but even so, it was a close thing. The hex grazed past my face and this to my hair. I suppose it was only a matter of time before I created an enemy for myself. I'm going to need to watch my back. There's some object that I can use to warn of imminent danger, isn't there? I don't know. Let's look. I didn't realize she'd go after him. I thought she'd go after the priest, not Potter. Wow. All right. Danger. Silent breath? There are those that consider the white heart a prize to be claimed. It contains a small token from a living. The item will retain its power, allowing the bearer to sense danger before it arrives. Yeah, silent breath. Good luck, Potter. I'll see you later. All right, time for our other ending with good old Mr. Potter. All right. I meet with Barton Potter at the entrance to the catacombs. Standing beside him, there's someone that I didn't expect to see. Rebecca! I was hoping I'd see you again. I'm coming with you. I can see things that you are blind to. Besides, I don't want to miss out on all the fun. Rebecca explains that the spirit eye has led her here. She seems to know all about our plan to give the casket to the nameless gods. Barton gives a shrug and a look that tells me he's already tried and failed to talk her out of it. Ready? You have the casket? Yeah. Let's go. I show him the small black chest, and his hand moves up to rub the side of his eye absent-mindedly. Smaller than I remember. We begin our descent into the depths, down twisting tunnels and past silent tombs. It is hard going, and we pass the time deep in thought, only speaking when we need to consult the map. Finally, we come to a large cavern. Illuminated by our flickering torches is the giant skull of some long-dead beast, huge and terrifying and ominous. The skull of Blencathra. It is too big to have found its way through the tight tunnels, so it's not clear how it got here. But we don't have time to ponder that now. It soon becomes apparent that our journey has only just begun. The skull marks the entrance to a new system of tunnels, ones that are not marked on our map. We trudge onwards deeper into the earth, trying not to think about the pressing weight of rock above our heads. Stop. He says it so abruptly that I nearly drop the torch in panic. Then I see it, a terrifying chasm in the path ahead. By some trick of the shadows and with my mind elsewhere, I'd come close to stepping out into nothing. This is going to be tricky. At first, I don't see how we can get past this obstacle. The gap is too big to jump, and attempting to traverse it would be too dangerous. Then I remember the items I have with me. Surely there's something I can make use of. A dataless link. Let's fly. I activate the levitation field around us and feel an unsettling sensation on my feet leave the ground. We float slowly across the chasm and my heart beats faster in my chest. It is tempting to race across to the other side and feel solid rock beneath our feet again, but a dataless link requires a delicate balancing act and must be used slowly and carefully. We reach the other side with great relief and continue on our way down the narrow corridor. I'm the first one to spot the next obstacle. As we approach a bend in the tunnel, I see a flickering orange light sending shadows dancing across the wall. Peering around the corner, I am confronted by a bright light that my eyes struggle to adjust to. A wall of intense flame fills the passage from floor to ceiling, an impossible bright yellow-orange fire swirling and billowing and roaring in a place where it should not be. I watch mesmerized for a moment, trying to work out where the fire is coming from before being forced to retreat from the heat. What is it? I explain our hopeless predicament, and as I do, I realize that perhaps it's not as hopeless after all. Perhaps there is a way through. Cyrene Ward. Safely on the other side of the fire-filled tunnel, the passageway begins to widen and soon it opens out into a vast cavern. Ancient stalagmites reach up towards delicate stalactites that spear down from the ceiling far above. It is strangely warm, perhaps heated by the same unnatural fire that we have just come through. In its center sits a dark pool. Its black depths are featureless, the flickering torchlight offering no reflection upon its surface. Blencathra's Basin. This whole place is alive with swirling shadows. We should not stay here. Let's make the offering and go. I bring out the casket and gaze upon its intricate surface for a moment. It is a horrible thing, isn't it? Be careful with it, and do not open it. We wait, none of us sure how to proceed. Rebecca seems to be expecting something to happen, so we wait in silence. I try to keep my thoughts from drifting to the casket. What does it contain? Maybe I should open it and find out. They're not coming. We're gonna have to call the nameless ones to us. I hope you know how, because I'm afraid I have no idea. I begin to say that I am equally lost, but then the flickering torch in my hand reminds me of something. There is a way. Griss. Almost immediately, we feel a shuddering vibration accompanied by a booming noise that sounds like giant footsteps echoing through the cavern. Small stones and some larger rocks shake loose from above, and to our right, a single, centuries-old stalactite comes crashing down from the ceiling and smashes against the hard rock floor. I watch in stunned horror as the pool in front of us begins to ripple and swirl, and a huge hand emerges from within, its palm held upwards, fingers curling towards the stalactites dripping down from the roof of the cavern. Quickly, the casket! I hesitate, but only for a moment. I throw the black casket towards the outstretched hand, and it closes around it into a fist before slowly retreating back below the surface of the pool. The offering has been accepted. A pact has been made. The cavern continues to shudder. A handful of smaller stones clatter around us, and we don't wait around to see if another stalactite is going to come down. But the danger seems to be over, and the vibrations become softer and more distant. I feel strangely elated, shivering with excitement as we leave the warm cavern. I glance back one last time at the black pool. Its surface is still. My uneasiness around the plan to hand over the casket to the nameless gods has subsided in the weeks following our adventure in the catacombs. I had a conversation with Dr. Robertson yesterday, and she seemed to be confident that her patients have now all made a full recovery. They remembered nothing from their ordeal, but there seemed to be no lingering ill effects. Verona Green came by the shop a few days ago to thank me personally. She reassured me that the nameless gods would never even consider opening the casket, and nor would they use its dark power against us. They have no interest in the lives of men. Undermere feels at peace once again. As I write this, Jupiter is purring softly in my lap, having tried to bat away the quill several times and nibbled the pages on a previous attempt. And the warmth of the fire is making me drowsy. I will sleep soundly tonight. Ending 5. In the lap of the gods. The nameless gods have the casket. Our fate is in their hands. All right. Eli, Verona, Rebecca, and Barton all live. This time, Rebecca is thrilled to have played a role. She's looking forward to the new adventures. All right. Edmund, Francesca. Ooh, Bonnie is missing. She fled after trying and failing to murder Barton Potter and has not been seen since. Audrey's deceased, murdered by her own bloodthirsty followers when the casket was not opened. Aw, Jack's still insane. I gotta figure out how to make him not insane. Thaddeus is alive, Simone and Jupiter are all alive. All right, we are back at the pit. The sun is low in the sky as we arrive at the pit, casting a warm light across the treetops and the open fields. A solitary raven cries out from the tree line, and I look to the skies, but they are empty. The pit itself is an ominous sight that the otherwise serene atmosphere can do nothing to diminish. It is a scorched black hole, perhaps 5 meters in diameter, but that has an unnatural look to it. This is the site of thaumic convergence. It is no simple thing to destroy an object of this kind. We need to set up opposing powers at opposing compass points, strength and weakness, light and darkness. And finally, we need the light of Corchin to bind them. Alright, let's do this. Fortinance for strength. Weakness. West is the sun. And then east is darkness. Alright, and then the light of Corchin. Which one is the light of Corchin again? Why am I having a brain fart? What's the light of Corchin? Yeah, it's that one. I'm smart. Don't mind me. Alright, Eli inspects my work. His face shows little emotion, but he seems satisfied. Yeah, after I had a brain fart, I looked straight at it. By now the sun has finished setting, and only a hint of red afterglow remains in the darkening sky. The raven croaks his mournful cry once again, but this time there is a reply, and then another. I look up and see several dark shapes circling above. Quickly now, they're here. I spin around to follow Eli's gaze, and my pulse quickens as I look out across the field. A large group of shadowy figures is walking steadily towards us. Can't see their faces at this distance in the low light, but I'd be willing to bet that every one of them has pools of midnight for eyes. In the sky above, the ravens continue to grow in number, and their caws and cries get louder and louder. I look down at the black object in my hands. Such a small thing, and yet its seductive power is impossible to ignore. It wants to be opened. Suddenly, it feels inevitable. The casket! Now! But I'm not sure I want to give it to him. I think I will keep it. I bring up the Wyxic cord as the thaumaturge realizes what is happening. He lunges at me, but he's too slow. His body stiffens and falls to the ground. I'm surprisingly calm now that I have given in to the casket's dark power, but a raucous chorus of shrieks and cries breaks me from my reverie. The mob is upon me. As I look out at the manic faces baying for blood, my gaze lands on one that is calmer than the others. I'm surprised to find that I recognize her. It's Verona Green, the occult scholar. Wait, is it over? Do you feel it? She holds up her hand and the group comes to a stop, while staring at me with their lifeless black eyes. I look at her without really seeing. My mind is filled with one thought only. Slowly, savoring the moment, I reach down and open the clasp that holds the alien casket shut. The mob cheers, but I don't even notice. Time slows and the rushing roar of my own heartbeat fills my ears. But then something happens that drags me out of my trance. Suddenly, my body tenses, and with horror I find that I cannot move. Verona appears in front of me holding the Wyxic cord, and at once I notice what I missed before. Her eyes aren't black like the others. At the same time, the rest of the mob realize what she is doing and they rush towards her, but she is anticipating this and moves quickly. She sprints over to the thaumaturge's frozen body and pries the light of Corchin from his stiff fingers. Without a hint of hesitation, she dives headfirst into the pit, and a handful of others blindly follow. A moment that lasts an eternity goes by, and then, suddenly and terrifyingly, there is a rush and a roar, and a swirling vortex of blue-green light races up out of the pit. I see the casket riding the whirlwind up into the night sky, where it seems to hang for a moment, turning slowly in the air until with a shrieking, splintering crash, it shatters into 1,000 pieces. And then there is nothing but smoke and the smell of ozone, and all is quiet. In the weeks since the events of the pit, I have struggled to come to terms with my role in it all. Eli has been surprisingly understanding. He tells me that he too felt the allure of the casket, and he does not blame me for the being unable to stand up to its power. But I cannot stay in Undermere. I toss and turn at night, unable to sleep. The town has taken Verona's death hard, and they understandably hold me accountable. If it were not for her, the casket would have been opened, and who knows what devastation would have been unleashed. The one that hurts the most is Dr. Robertson. She will not even talk to me after what happened. I can't say that I blame her, but that doesn't make the pain any easier to bear. My train to London leaves tomorrow. I plan to leave thaumaturgy behind me and try to build a new life in the city. I got Verona killed. She gave her life to save us all. Eli White is alive, understanding but somewhat cold and distant after Verona's death. Ending 6, a lucky escape. Undermere was saved, but at the loss of a dear friend. I cannot stay here now. Rebecca's alive, Barton's alive, Edmund's alive, Francesca's alive. Bonnie's missing. She failed. That's right, this is the one where I gave her the Corvan's fight. Everyone else is alive. Except for Verona. Sorry, Verona. go again. Off to the pit. Alright, this time I gave Verona Green the abrasive mether. So the one to erase memories. So let's see how this goes. The sun is low in the sky as we arrive at the pit, casting a warm light across the treetops and the open fields. A solitary river cries out from the tree line, and I look to the skies, but they are empty. The pit itself is an ominous sight that the otherwise serene atmosphere can do nothing to diminish. It is a scorched black hole, perhaps 5 meters in diameter, that is an unnatural look to it. This is a site of thaumic convergence. It is no simple thing to destroy an object of this kind. We need to set up opposing powers at opposing compass points. Strength of neatness, light of darkness, light of fortune, divine them. Cool. Alright. North is strength, weakness. West is light. East is funk. Darkness, and then... Cool. Eli inspects my work. Ravens are circling. Cool. Quickly now. They're here. Spin around to follow Eli's gaze. Large group coming. Perfect. I'm sorry, I'm skipping. I look down at the black object in my hand. Such a small thing, and yet its seductive power is impossible to ignore. It wants to be opened. Suddenly, feels inevitable. The casket, now! But I'm not sure I want to give it to him. Yeah, I'll give you the casket this time. Purple. Where'd the casket go? Wait, where'd the casket go? Wait, where did it go? No, don't tell me. It just flew off the page. Son of a bitch. Okay. I got the casket back. In here, please. Alien casket. There we go. Alright. The wave of intoxicating power washes over me, but I hold strong against it. I hand over the casket, and together we begin activating the items arranged around the pit. Working as fast as we can. Still takes longer than we'd like, and when I look up again, the thaumaturge has fear in his eyes. It's not working. He is clutching the light of Fortune, but is lifeless in his hands. Ooh, such a shame. I turn to see the occult scholar. Her eyes are black, and she has a Dread Vivant in her hands. She has a Dread Vivant in her hands? Where did she get that from? Not strange antiquities, I hope. She must be using it to dampen the power of the light of Fortune. We will take the casket now. It will be opened. All around us, the black-eyed mob shrieks and cheers, jostling and shoving and tripping over one another in their frantic race to reach the casket. Those at the front are nearly upon us. All hope is lost. But the thaumaturge thinks faster than I do. He quickly activates a Daedalus link and floats out across the pit, clutching the casket. The mob around me pays me no attention. They only have eyes for the casket. Eli begins to speak, quietly at first, and then rising in volume until he is almost shouting. I am no longer afraid. I am the dirt beneath the ground and the rock below that. I am the dust stretched thin across empty space. I am everything cold and dead and dying. But I am also the heat and the light, the wind, the ice, and the fire, the leaves on the tree and the water in the river. I am everything warm and alive and living. At that moment, Eli locks eyes with me, and suddenly I understand what I need to do. I charge forward and tackle the possessed scholar. I grapple with her, trying to prise the Dread Vivant from her hands, but she is surprisingly wiry and strong. We teeter closer and closer to the edge of the pit, and cold fear hits my stomach as I look down into its inky depths. With one last burst of energy, I grab Verona and twist my body, pushing with all my strength. She scrabbles at the bare dirt at the edge, but she is unable to find purchase as she falls. I will never forget the look of shocked horror on her face as she plunges into the darkness of the pit. Eli wastes no time. As soon as he is able to, he activates the Light of Fortune. Time stands still, and then there is a rush and a roar as a swirling vortex of blue-green light races up out of the pit. The full force of it strikes Eli, and he is obliterated by its power. The casket is sent soaring up into the night sky, where it seems to hang for a moment, turning slowly in the air until, with a shrieking, splintering crash, it shatters into 1,000 pieces. And then there is nothing but smoke and the smell of ozone, and all is quiet. Eli's death has hit me hard in the aftermath of the events of the pit. Without his sacrifice, the casket would have surely been opened and devastation and horror unleashed onto the world. But it is Verona that keeps me up at night. I have spoken to her daughter, Simone, and she does not blame me, but I can't help replaying it over and over in my mind, trying to will a different outcome into existence. I fear I will forever be haunted by it. It has been some small comfort to learn that those who are under the casket's spell have been released. They remember nothing from their ordeal, but there seems to be no lingering ill effects, and Dr. Robertson says they have all made a full recovery. Ending 7, a noble death. The casket has been destroyed, but at what cost? Eli and Verona are both dead.
Man. I lost both of them this one.
Alright, we're back at the pit. I gave Verona the abrasive mother again, so she lost her memories and has truly formed in. Okay. We're gonna skip this part.
Sun, weakness, strength, shadow.
Oh, I forgot to move you over this time. Alright, this time, Wyxic cord. There we go. Now things will be different. I'm not sure I want to give it to him. I bring up the Wyxic cord as the thaumaturge realizes what is happening. He lunges at me, but he's too slow. His body stiffens as he falls to the ground. I'm surprisingly calm now that I've given in to the casket's dark power, but a raucous chorus of shrieks and cries breaks me from my reverie. The mob is upon me. As I look out at the manic faces vying for blood, my gaze lands on one that is calmer than the others. I'm surprised to find that I recognize her. It's Verona Green, the occult scholar. Wait. The apprentice begins to understand. She holds up her hand and the group comes to a stop, all staring at me with their lifeless black eyes. You see now, it is inevitable. The casket will be opened. I barely hear her. My mind is filled with one thought only. Slowly, savoring the moment, I reach down and open the clasp that holds the Nalian casket shut. The mob cheers, but I don't even notice. Time slows and the rushing roar of my own heartbeat fills my ears. I open the casket. Dark power flows through me. The rhythms and worries of my former life are meaningless to me now. It is hard to remember even what they were. Devastation and darkness surround me, but I feel nothing. Why should I care? Even the nameless gods bow to me now. I am immortal. I am powerful. I am a god. Everyone is... Ooh, Rebecca's missing. It's not known what happened to her after the casket was open. I did give her the eye this time, so she probably saw it coming. Oh, Francesca survived the devastation. Alright, ending 8. A seductive power. The power of the casket could not be contained. I fear nothing. I feel nothing. Okay, let's see. While I had been going through the book over these numerous playthroughs, I noticed on a couple of pages there were X's on the bottom of the page. And there's 3 of them. Let's see, grab up Babelia, and 3 seems to be a magic number in this game, so I figure 3 is going to be something important. So let's see if I can find where the others were.
Come on. Let's go to Fortinance. Griss, Charm, Grim, Bone, Epilogue. Come on. Aha!
Orford Spire. Okay, we'll put that over there, and let's continue. Should be one more. Come on.
Come on. Charm, Shimmer, Shin, Silent Breath. Come on.
Where were you? I saw you in here somewhere.
Cloak. Aha! Flamic Needle. Da-dump. And that's it.
Okay, cool. And while exploring the catacombs, I came across this. The grave is old and worn. There was an inscription once, but it's too faded and crumbled to read. No. It's not that. What was it that helped you read things that made them clear? Yeah, candle. The candle brings the past into focus, and I am able to read the inscription on the tomb. Arthur Ambrose, 1412 to 1507, proprietor, Strange Antiquities. Beyond the veil, in the dark, beats the shop's forbidden heart. Bring protection for thy mind against thy horrors you might find. Take sweet breath to clear the tainted air. Stay wakeful, 'tis death to slumber there.
Huh. Okay.
Three next pages.
Ooh, a new clock puzzle.
Oh, this is the one with the constant spinning. Okay, I gotta do something. Oh! What is this? Why is it pumping? What the? Huh. Interesting. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, the poem. It was... No, it's not in my archives. Okay, I have it over here. Let's see. Bring protection for thy mind against thy horrors you might find. Okay, protection against the mind. A sextrum. Take sweet breath to clear the tainted air. Palliance? From Strange Horticulture? Stay wakeful to death to slumber there. Stay wakeful, sleep. Oh! Heart of the shop. Reach the heart of strange antiquities. I have entered the heart of the shop. I am a part of strange antiquities now. I flow with the thaumic energy of 1,000 years. I am at peace. Ending 9, the heart of the shop. I feel its rhythmic pulse. I am enveloped in its warm embrace. All right. Yes. All right, so ending 9 is the secret ending, and you have to do it on day 17, so before days 18 ending. That's the only way that it will activate. But, whew, all right, that should be all of them. That should be all the endings. That should be the paths. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around and watching all of those. Hopefully they help you out if you get stuck. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.